Welcome to The Arts of the Answer, a co-production with the Arts Council for Monterey County and Access Monterey Peninsula. I'm Steve Elzey, Executive Producer for AM.
And I'm Paulette Lynch, Executive Director of the Arts Council for Monterey County.
In this next half hour, we're going to introduce you to artists, organizers, and others who are making wonderful things happen in our region through the arts.
And it starts right now. I'm here today with Kenji Tanner. She is an amazing artist, and she's been teaching in our classrooms now for the past 7 years. And we're going to talk today about her own experiences in the classroom and even beyond, what she brings to the class and what the class is getting out of it. And as you know, the arts are really not plentiful enough in our schools by any stretch. But we hope that's changing, and you're going to see why that's so important as we talk. Thanks, Kenji, for being here.
Thank you, Paulette, for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
When so many schools really don't have an artist on staff these days, or they don't have a teacher on staff dedicated to the arts, what happens when you actually get to a school?
When I get to the school, you know, the teacher introduces me, and lets the students know that they will be having art so many days or whatever a week, and they are just ecstatic. They applaud me. Interesting enough, they remember my name, Miss Kenji, so that's a bonus. And every time I go in, they just look forward to it. They're ready. And as a matter of fact, if I'm walking on the campus, they'll say, Miss Kenji, are you coming to our class today? Whose class are you in today? I mean, it's just so warm and loving, and they love art.
I know that for some people, they think about the arts as for people who like that sort of thing, or they think about it as something that's not really needed for school. Maybe some other time it's okay. But I know the research backs up our contention that the arts are the answer for a complete education. There's so much research out there on the way the brain works, that especially developing brains really need those experiences. Is that what you're also finding when you go into the school?
I am, and you know, through the programs the projects that I present, I try to use a lot of different mediums so that if a child is more focused on cutting, sewing, gluing, painting, they get to experiment with their own true self with all these mediums. And it opens up their hearts, you know, it causes them to really be creative in a way where they're not structured. And I let them know, look, you're not getting graded, you know, this isn't a test, you know, there's no mistakes. Everyone is an artist, just feel free to express yourself. And it's amazing, they take a deep breath and it's like they've never heard it before.
And I understand that you do a lot of what some people will call arts integrated work. So you're integrating literacy, they're writing also, reflecting, they are, you introduce science concepts and even things around the world. Can you talk about, I know you're involved in the big aquarium project, Mi Planeta.
Well, the aquarium project was fantastic because the children have been to the aquarium, and they even get to go as a free program through the Monterey Arts Council, which is great. So I wanted to really create an environment where they would come to their painting with the knowledge and the love and the caring of these, different fish and so forth, the sea life, that they could really, you know, create something beautiful. So I showed them a film and we discussed it, and you know, they got to share their ideas and share their sketching. We did a little color chart so they could see the variations of blues and grays and greens. And it was just fantastic. And when they did their finished project, each one of them were so proud. The parents came to the aquarium, and they brought me gifts, and we took pictures, and everyone, it was amazing. The parents were happy also. I could see that it was really rewarding for them to feel proud about their children, you know, with their pictures in the aquarium, you know. So it was a fantastic program. They worked on a mural, and this was a collaboration effort. I wanted them to see how they could work together. And so we spread out the paper on the floor, and everybody got in position. And I think I had 31 students, so it was quite large. But one little boy who was very quiet, you know, he never really spoke. He was always very courteous, Miss Kenji. Thank you. He always said thank you. But he got in that mural, and toward the end of the project, he was the only one left on the floor. He would not get up. I had to show him where he could put more fish. And that was just amazing. He found his niche through the art. You know, he was born again, really, truly. He was a different child.
Can you also talk about the value of the art process to the kids who really do have tons of energy and how you handle it?
Yeah, I have dealt with those students that are really outspoken. They want to be the king of the show. And I love those students because they're leaders. They're automatic leaders. They're speakers. They'll probably be in Congress, you know, someday. And so I give them an assignment. Oh, okay, you're the leader. Well, come on up here and help me and bring your picture and demonstrate to the class what you're doing. It puts them on the spot, but they rise to the occasion. The students that are more inner, those are very special because they truly are artists, you know, that quiet. So I work with them and, you know, just give them, you know, acknowledgement when they draw a line or if they finally color something. I'm like, that is just fantastic. Look at you. You're really doing it great. And it just gives them the confidence that they can't find in other subjects. Because they're not judged, they're not graded, they're not tested. You know, I tell them, you know, it's there. You're not being graded here. There's no mistakes.
And yet the irony I find is that even though they're not being graded and tested and we say there's no mistakes, some people misinterpret that idea. They think that it's playtime and that playtime has no value. I find that these kids are digging deeper, they work harder, they are watching each other and learning from each other in a special way where they're learning from you, they're learning from each other, and they're going farther.
Yes, there's two outstanding examples that come to mind. One was that I introduced the students at La Gloria to a project that I've been working on in Zambia. I have a good friend. She has 500 you know, orphans in Zambia that she's, you know, trying to feed and care for. So I thought, why not bring that project to the students? And it opened up all of the children. They want to give, you know, they wanted to paint, they wanted to color, draw pictures for these particular children. They want to connect, and they did make a great connection. We had a performance, the parents came, donations were given, and my friend actually got to fly here in the United States for the first time. And oh, she embraced the children, and there were tears flooding. But they felt so proud that they were able to give back. And later when I had them write on it, they wrote that this is what they wanted to do in life. They wanted to be humanitarians. With the older students, they're a little more, you know, conservative in their approach to art. But I had a great program. It was a 3D program, and I used a method from MTV to get them started, so that would get them going. And I used math shapes to describe their personality, and they got to do the shapes and everything and construct this 3D. I took photographs of them to integrate the self in the it was just fantastic. And everybody was so focused, and they just got to get up at the end and speak about it. So I know I sound really excited, but I'm so excited about the arts. It just changes the children, you know.
Thanks again, Kenji.
Thank you, Paulette.
We're very lucky. Thanks for that.
Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Walter Rice. I'm an arts writer at the Monterey County Weekly, and I'd like to welcome my guest to the show, Scott Jacobs. Scott, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You're a relatively younger artist in the Monterey County scene here. I want to ask you, where were you born and where did you grow up?
I was born in Hartford, Connecticut, and then mostly in Marlboro. It's a small little town about 20 minutes away.
You began doing art like I think a lot of young people do, with drawing album covers.
Yeah, so.
Like what are some of the album covers that influenced you or inspired you?
The Korn album, Follow the Leader, I think, and then Vision of Disorder. Limp Bizkit was still big until Eminem came in the picture. So, you know, the covers of those CDs.
Were you the kind of kid that in other classes like math or history or English you were drawing?
Or drumming with my pencils. That didn't pan out, so I had to like use them.
Let's say you got caught. Did that discourage you from drawing, or did you just have it in you to keep drawing?
No, a lot of times I would get in-school suspension. So, you know, you just sit in one room all day. And so, and then, you know, I just drew different things, people out of magazines, and or the in-school suspension teacher, which I think she still has it. I gave her one. But.
Describe like when you first started to sort of draw with more purpose, with maybe more training in mind.
Well, there was the class with Dean Waite when he's mostly a seascape, paints a lot of ships like that. Took class with him when I was maybe 12 or 13.
But at some point you joined the military.
Yeah, about 2 years after high school. It was good. While I was in boot camp, they had me paint the flag. So I had like 3 days while I was there, in boot camp. Everybody's doing push-ups and stuff, so I was like painting the flag, taking my time, And then in Africa, they had me do a big sign for them.
So you did a piece of work. It was a portrait of Obama. Describe what that did for you.
I got a lot of publicity, and I got into galleries, and people were buying my work, got sales.
And what else did that do for your confidence, as far as your confidence in going in this direction of dedicating yourself to doing art?
It definitely gave me a lot of hope, because before that, I've shared with you, sold a couple pieces for maybe $100 here and there. I had been in one other gallery, David Schwartz Gallery.
So you were talking about how this sudden surge of publicity and attention gave you the confidence, rightly so or maybe not, to go to New York. And what did you try to do in New York?
I had no idea what I was doing, no idea. And a large part of it was the excitement and adventure, driving cross country. And my family and my wife's family at the time both lived in Connecticut and New York. So anyway, we went out there, and it couldn't have been farther from the truth, thinking that these guys knew who I was. I was gonna hop into a few galleries and have a brownstone, and that's it. I didn't have any course of action.
So what did you learn from that experience?
You can always call New York before you drive there from California. Ventura and Ventura County showed a ton of support. Randall Richmond, the Artist Union Gallery, San Buenaventura Artist Union Gallery, people that worked there, Sylvia White, a lot of people, and then all the people who collected, and the newspapers and the publicity, all these people showed a ton of support for me. And then me, without even thinking about it, I up and left, without thinking about that. And it's a great lesson learned.
Let's bring it to Monterey County. You arrived here, you say, in late 2009?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you have a game plan once you arrived here, unlike what happened in New York?
When I got out here, my wife at the time was at the DLI, and I got out here, and I thought it might be smart to go to college. And while continuing my art, I kept painting. But so I went to Monterey Peninsula College, and took class from Bob Lamp and Robin Smith, two awesome art teachers.
So let's talk about one of those people you met in the arts here locally, Andrew Jackson. What has he meant to you and to what you're doing here in art?
He's really like the sole reason why I'm at where I'm at today. There's a lot of people in a lot of different ways that have helped me out along the way. But Andrew gave me, there's so many people that I've talked to in my experience that there's no, it's like, okay, so you make some money when you're dead. I'll see you later, that kind of thing, as an artist, that kind of stuff. They just have, they haven't done it. They don't have experience with it. And so Andrew has experience bringing up and helping, David Cho and Shepard Fairey, and worked with Todd White and all these people. So it let me put a lot of trust in him, into what he was saying. And then, he has a real good reputation around this area. So even just, letting someone know that I might be working with him, and then in a lot of ways, just she's in all the different aspects of it, because he's both done it as an artist through the Weiling Gallery and as a representative of artists, you know, helping them bring them up.
Trying to devote one's life to exclusively doing art, money is also an issue, especially here in the county. Yeah. And you probably, particularly, you're 27 years old. Mm-hmm. So how do you now circumvent that, or how do you deal with that issue?
I've been fortunate to, once again, Andrew Jackson's helped me out a lot and given me a lot of good tips. And so I've been, the idea, if you can get into a spot, which in this county, you're really kind of talking Ocean Ave or Dolores in Carmel, where you can have a decent body of work to sell your work. The idea is, the study is how you eat lunch, how you have gas, how you have this and that, and hopefully you sell one big one a month to pay the rent.
Okay, that sounds pretty tenuous. Like maybe you do sell one a month, or maybe you don't sell one for 3 months.
Yeah. Every now, like I just sold the original Obama that I did before '08, and that was for it was the highest sale I've had.
Do you have anything any kind of advice that you can impart to maybe even younger artists who are trying to come up here, and maybe you can kind of, what Andrew Jackson did for you, offer something for younger people coming up in art in Monterey County?
I mean, the number one thing, and then that was shared with me, is just keep painting, or playing the guitar, or doing theater, or whatever your artistic form is. Do it for yourself at least. Continue to do it.
I want to thank you for coming on, Scott, and we're all going to be looking forward to seeing more of your work.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Likewise.
All right.
Thank you.
So one of the most difficult things for us to deal with happens at the end of our lives, or the end of the lives of a loved one. And here again, the arts are the answer. I'm here with Vicki Nelson, Executive Director of the Compassionate Care Alliance, and she has been incorporating the arts into her amazing work, helping people get through it and in a way that maximizes dignity, health, and just loving and care for everyone involved. Vicki, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for inviting me, Paulette. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. And Vicki, can you start with what your organization is all about, and then a little bit about how you got started incorporating the arts into what you're doing?
Sure. We have a dual mission, and that is to provide information on end-of-life issues, resources. We have a website that has a lot of information that people will need if they have a serious or life-threatening illness. And the other part of our mission is to create opportunities for dialogue and education on end-of-life issues and the care choices that are involved, and planning for end-of-life issues.
Can anybody come to the workshop?
They are open to the public. We have been doing a lot of them at venues such as skilled nursing facilities or assisted living facilities such as Villa Sera out in Salinas or Park Lane. We find that not only do they bring the audience from their residents, but a lot of times they can bring their families there too.
So my understanding is that you incorporated the dramas as a way to do that. Can you talk about how you got started in using drama per se as a way to help people talk about what's nearly unspeakable?
About 12 years ago, we were created, along with a number of other coalitions throughout the country, to actually publicize the Bill Moyer series on Dying in America that was on PBS. There were probably 350, 400 different groups across the country that did this. Then they encouraged us all to do something in the community. At one of the meetings, though, with these different coalitions across the country, and this was probably about 10 years ago, there was a staged reading of a play called Vesta. It was written by an attorney, and it talked about a family and what they went through with end-of-life issues. We actually did 10 staged readings of the play, including one reading, and we kind of joke about this because it was held at Community Hospital at 10 in the morning on a Saturday. We had our biggest crowd there, a lot of the physicians, social workers, nurses from the hospital. And what we do after each staged reading is have a dialogue session with the audience, with the director, with the playwright, and with the actors.
That's amazing.
And any of the actors who want to be involved in our work always have something that touches their heart with end-of-life issues. And they are just as good talking to the audience as some of the professionals sometimes.
Can you talk about what it's like for you to be able to utilize that talkback period after the play has been performed as a way to connect with people and help them understand what their options are, what they can do next?
It's always amazing that in the productions that we've done, because we've done 2 full productions of 2 plays, one in 2008, Legacy, one in 2010, Exit Strategy. We do 11 performances each time, and it was amazing to see how many different opinions we had, questions we had. We also realized, and I think, Paulette, one of the times you were there was on a Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
We had a Friday evening, Saturday evening performance, and then a Sunday matinee. There were times at the Sunday matinee, I swear people would have stayed for dinner with us
Right.
because they started talking about these issues.
Yeah.
And this is an audience full of strangers
Yes.
for the most part. You know,
Yes,
sometimes maybe 4 people will come together, 6 people will come together, but it's usually a couple.
People start to feel a part of a community, even though they hadn't met most of the people there. So that really gets expressed in, that's part of what gets expressed in the talkbacks. That's amazing. That's awesome.
One of the things that people have said to us more than once, a number of times, usually at least one person at every performance, as they're leaving, they'll say, "Thank you for doing this, and thank you for giving us a safe place to talk about it."
Yeah.
They realize it's an important thing to talk about,
Oh, yeah.
but perhaps they're not comfortable talking with their family about it.
Not yet. Not yet.
And yeah, actually, it was interesting because we do an evaluation. We ask people to evaluate online. We hand them a reminder as they're leaving, so hopefully they will do it. And we do get very, very good response. I think one of the comments I received that probably touched my heart more than anything, when we said, "What will you do in the next week, the next month, the next year about these issues?" And one woman wrote, "I will make amends with my estranged family."
Wow.
And I thought, okay, if I never do anything else good in my life.
That's it. That is it.
But it was the
Wow.
arts.
Wow. Yeah.
It was something that touched her heart,
Yes.
that allowed her to say, okay, I need to change the way I feel about things.
Wow.
So we are just such big proponents of the arts because they're a wonderful way to discuss social issues. You know, we can talk about how to fill out an advance directive in our workshop. You know, it's the practical
That's
part.
important. Yeah.
Right. And actually, our playwright, Cindy Gum, who wrote these last 2 plays, calls it the wisdom of the heart.
That's
The
great.
right
That is really
brain
great.
part of it, of our work, is the wisdom of the heart. And I think that's really what it is.
Well, we're so grateful to you for the work that you're doing and so grateful to Cindy as the playwright. I understand she's working on a new play. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The new play is going to be about aging in place. I think a lot of females have had the same experience where they say, you know, when the guys are all gone, we'll all live together and take care of each other.
That's
And
the dream. Yeah.
That's basically what the play is about.
Oh, wow.
About a group of women who all have different issues, and they have come together, they love each other, they want to care for each other, and the play develops their stories and lets us know that there are options. Perhaps the options they had at the beginning of the play, the wishes they had, might or might not be fulfilled. And that's the way life is.
Yeah.
We can't plan.
Well, thank you so much, Vicki. We have some tape from not this upcoming play, but I understand that'll be in
We're planning to produce it in 2014, but we're starting to do some staged readings.
And will those be open to the public also?
Yes, they will be.
So something to really, really look forward to.
Yes.
the stage readings and then maybe a more full production, and maybe we'll get it all on film and show the whole thing. And but we do have a clip from Exit Strategies that we'll leave you with. And again, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Paulette.
Thank you.
I want to bundle you up and tell you everything's going to be okay, even though we both know it isn't. I couldn't do this for Shuk. Please let me do it for you.
Oh, Jerry.
I promise that I will not feel sorry for you, and I won't tell you to snap out of it. I'll run out in the snow with you for as long as you're able. And I'll hold you at night when the monsters come. I'll watch the sunrise with you when you can't sleep. And I'll hold your hand when it has no place to go. And my courage will be bigger than your cancer. Please, BJ, you have given me more than I could ever give you. Please let me help you for whatever time you have left. I think you're my angel. And when your time comes, I will help you fly.
Hello, my name is Bernice House. I am the Community Outreach Coordinator for the Arts Council. Today, I would like to invite you to visit our webpage and visit our cultural directory, where you can find out more about arts and cultural groups in our region. For example, today I will present to you the Alta California organization. The group is based in Salinas and they travel throughout the county to perform at various events. Their performances promote, enlighten, and educate regarding the dances, music, clothing, and costumes of the people who lived in California in the 1800s and now known as the Californianos. Their mission is to foster California history through dance.
Well, that's it for another episode of The Arts of the Answer. We hope you enjoyed the show.
And remember, we're always looking for ideas, guests, volunteers, and sponsors. So please get in touch at artsformc.org/answer.
See you next time.